Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. This is it.
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney. So what?
And who might you be?
And how are you today? Oh, good.
Oh, that's a shame. Choose whichever one of those applies to
Whichever one, yeah. It's a choose your own adventure podcast in many ways.
It is.
One day we're intending to go fully choose your own adventure, choose your own podcast.
That. We should try that.
Maybe we do a
somehow.
spin-off pod. Yeah,
I don't know
choose
how it
your own
works.
podcast.
I don't know how it works, but we should try
Which
it.
tangent might you go on, or whatnot?
Also, something that people sometimes remark on. This isn't just for us. This is pretty much all podcasts. If you slow down the speed on the podcast player that you listen on, it sounds as though the protagonists are quite drunk, which can be fun.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
you can give that a try
that's
if you want.
a fun thing to do.
Before we go any further, I want to recommend a couple of things that are on telly this weekend that people might be into. I just stumbled upon looking at Sky Arts for the weekend, and tomorrow night, Friday night, depends when you listen to this, because if you're IFS you get it Thursday evening. Friday night at 9 p.m. there's a brand new documentary about Mark Bolan and T-Rex, and if that's what you're into, that's going to be great, because you can't go wrong with a bit of T-Rex. The second thing is on Saturday night, same time, Sky Arts, 9 p.m, an hour and 45-minute documentary about New Order's brilliant album Power, Corruption and Lies from 1983.
Oh, that'd be good.
So there you go. I just stumbled upon them about an hour ago, so I thought I'd share that.
Hopefully that's got that clip of them where like Bernard Sumner's in a sort of a Ticini top and tiny tennis shorts.
His tiny shorts. That was in a
yellow dyed sort of blonde soul boy hair.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what song they're playing, but it's one of my favourite musical clips ever.
They were doing that was it was in the basement at Radio 1, and it was in the height of summer, and hence the lack of clothing that he was wearing.
They're dressed. I'm not even joking, because it's a band who were like very much style icons, but they are dressed and look exactly like Wham.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, because Wham, certainly George Michael loved New Order. Mm-hmm. And I think Andrew Ridgeley would have done, like all of Wham, even the dancers would have loved New Order. I don't know what New Order would have thought of Wham at the time, but certainly they were dressing the same as Wham. That was like, I mean, lots of kids, that's how the Chiswick Soul Patrol, who had been dressing for years, Andy.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
they very much that was the Soul Patrol look.
That's good to know.
Right? Very much tennis based.
Right.
And so that was how like Soul Boys were all dressing out on the street, and Wham seemed to be the first band to actually reflect that on Top of the Pops.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, fucking New Order are doing it and all. Funny overlaps.
I do know when Electronic, Bernard Sumner's spin-off thing with Johnny Marr, when they did their second album, George Michael was in the studio next door apparently when they were mastering it, and he came in and they played the album note when it was finished, and apparently he just sat there smoking joint after joint after joint, loving the album, and told them how brilliant I thought it was. But there's a great clip on YouTube of, I can't remember who the interviewer is, but it's like one of these panel things where you've got three pop stars talking about new singles, new albums, books, and it's Morrissey's one of them, George Michael's another, and it's about 1983, 84, and it's a book about Joy Division. Yeah. And Morrissey sits there and kind of like goes, "Oh yes, they're so miserable. Joy Division is terrible, very miserable music," and he's got nothing really to say. But then George Michael deep dives side 2 of Joy Division's second album, Closer, and talks about how brilliant and atmospheric it is and everything. He's well into
like,
it.
I know that clip, and it's just ironic. It's like he's so much more musically literate and articulate and knowledgeable than Morrissey.
Yes.
And Morrissey comes across as a grumpy cynic, right? And George Michael just comes across as this brilliantly energised fucking enthusiast who's got a real way of expressing his love of things, of pop and all the rest of it. It's lovely.
Great. Check it out. Check it out on the YouTube.
And he also said, because of course Neil Tennant was sort of a part of Electronic, wasn't he? He wasn't
originally,
yeah. And George Michael says in his Desert Island Disc, which is a very excellent episode of Desert Island Disc, he chooses Being Boring as one of his songs. And he says Neil Tennant was the best writer of pop songs in that period, which I thought, high praise coming from George Michael, who in my opinion actually was the best writer of pop songs in that period. So
I'm
excited, he loves all that.
That Pet Shop Boys Greatest Hits tour that I went to see a few times last year, they're doing some more shows in 2024.
Is it true that you got so excited by them doing more shows that you bought not one, not two, but 3 tickets for 3 separate gigs?
I'm going to 3 separate gigs, yeah.
And list the places that you're going to see them.
I'm going to go to Glasgow, I'm going to go to Manchester, I'm going to go to Nottingham.
That is a staggering commitment to the Pet Shop Boys. And, respect.
Well, one of them, I think one each, I'm going to go with both of my kids to separate ones. So they're coming along again. But all of this can be changeable. The hotels are cancelable. The tickets could be sold on if it becomes too much logistically. But that's I've set my stall out. That's what I'm aiming to do, to go to those 3 shows.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, you mentioned Mark Bolan. Of course, there's a Barnes link there because, sadly, it is this my leafy locale, where he ploughed his car into a fucking tree and died.
Bolan tree, yeah.
And you can still see the flowers. There is almost always, flowers and some sort of memorial on that tree, so I see that regularly. It happens to be very close indeed to Gary Lineker's compound.
Really? Fucking hell,
his high security compound. I don't know whether it's him putting the flowers out, tying them to the tree, but
I wonder if he built the compound there as a tribute almost to Mark Bolan.
Yeah, it might be that he's a huge... It would make sense that he was a T-Rex fan, because that would have been the era he grew up in. The 70s, when T-Rex were in their pomp, would have been Lineker's kind of coming-of-age adolescence, I think. So would make a lot of sense. Now, there's a pub in Barnes, I'm not going to name it, but it recently did a reopening. I didn't even know it had shut, because I stopped going there years ago for reasons that I may or may not reveal later in this anecdote. But the real point of the anecdote is I didn't know it had shut. It's not that near my house. It's on the other side of Barnes, so I don't often walk past it, and it's quite tucked away. And so I'm scrolling through Instagram, and they go, great night at our grand reopening last night. And I thought, fucking reopening, you hadn't even shut. This sounds like a scam. So I scrolled through the pictures, right, to see who was there. But I'm already thinking, you should have invited me. I'm a local figure of note, right? Especially since my barnstorming display at the Barnes Book Festival. That should have really put me on the map if I wasn't already. No, I'm not invited. By the way, if I was invited, I wouldn't have gone. But it would have been nice to have been invited. And then I'm scrolling through, and who do I see in the pub at the grand reopening? Right up on his hind legs and erect to his full length, Mr. Gary Lineker.
Ooh, fucking hell.
I was fuming. I thought, fucking hell, I could have been there. It's only a small booze. It would have been the perfect chance for me to see him fully erect at his full height, his full 7 feet high when he's fully stretched up, right? His paws high. If he lifts his paws above his head, then that extends his length to 8 feet. He might have almost been touching the ceiling. In the photograph, he didn't have his paws aloft. He had them by his side, ready to attack.
Would the word you'd use, would it be prowl when he's at full length? I mean, prowl when he's on all fours, I would say, but skulk when he's...
Sometimes he looks like he's stalking. He looks like he's stalking. Yeah.
It's a very slow movement, isn't it? It's a very slow, still kind of movement. He almost glides along the floor.
The thing about it is he'll be very, very still, and there'll be an almost imperceptible sway. We've been talking a lot about swaying recently. It's always a telltale sign when you're dealing with any predator.
We've been mentioned actually in Sway Monthly magazine as one of the leading sway-related podcasts out at the minute. Yeah. So that's
and it's actually a print magazine, just a short run print magazine as well. You can get in Smith's
Specialist.
And he just started swaying just imperceptibly, and then it'll be very small, slow movements for quite a prolonged period. And if you look at his eyes, another thing to look out for is there'll be no blinking at all, which is rare in a lot of mammals. Most mammals blink 40 times per minute, right?
Yeah.
But when they stop blinking, that's when you know, well, hang on, they might be becoming agitated. And he doesn't blink. And then all of a sudden, there'll be a very, very, very rapid movement. Almost so rapid you can't see it. And it'll be a rapid attack.
Like that.
Yeah. And it suddenly, bang! And the dirt is gone. That's what he says sometimes when he's done an attack on someone or something. He'll go bang, and he'll spark someone who's displeased him, and he'll just go, and the dirt is gone. And then everyone will start talking again.
Them, or just claw at their neck, and they'll fall to the ground bleeding.
But very often he won't be attacking a human being or another sort of living thing. It'll very often be he'll just go bang, and he'll like grab himself a packet of mini cheddars from behind the bar. Yeah. This particular pub does sell mini cheddars. Or he'll go bang, and he'll like go to the toilet really quickly, in and out
in
before you've
seconds.
even noticed he's gone.
And literally, the dirt is gone.
He can go to the toilet for a 1 or a 2, right, without even breaking off a conversation. So you know when you're at a party and you're chatting, and sometimes you do it because you need a way out. Sometimes you just really do need a wee. You go, sorry, excuse me, I just need to go to the loo. I'll catch you later. It's very rare that you go to the loo and then come back to the same person, is it?
Yeah, that's
very rare.
You use the loo as a break off, don't you?
It's a get out. And it's recognised. It's not rude. It's a commonly recognised social conceit. Not Lineker. Lineker's so efficient. I don't know whether this is a Jake Humphrey thing, but you could be talking to Lineker, like I could be telling him a story, right? And in the middle of the story, he will just go to the toilet and come back, and just in a bit where I've paused for breath, really briefly. And he'll go, no, don't stop. I'll be back before you've even got onto your next word. Bang, bang.
Yeah, there.
You been?
Done.
Yeah, I just went.
I heard that at the, I think it was about 2015, definitely pre-COVID, Sports Personality of the Year after show. You know, you were saying there he'll go and he'll do a 1 or a 2. Could be either, but he's back in fraction of a second. He was there and back, and he said he'd done a 3, but he wouldn't he wouldn't say what that was. And to this day, nobody knows what a 3 constitutes. But we can only speculate. I wouldn't want to speculate, to be quite honest.
That could be a spuke, which is a shit and a puke and a wee all at once. Which I think a lot of, certainly in my drinking days, that was something that wasn't unheard of.
Yeah,
right?
I think a lot of us of a certain age have done that at some point.
It was a big thing in the 90s, for sure, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Shitting and puking at the same time. It was a big thing in Britpop. Got it off the bassist from Supergrass.
Yeah.
Do you know what my favourite Supergrass song is?
Tell us.
We're in it for the fanny. We're in it for the fanny. They actually did an album called In It for the Fanny, didn't they? It was very bold, but that was the 90s. It was all kind of very ironic. But I once heard, someone told me once when I was talking about that, someone this is actually true, I'm not even messing about. I think we're on a stag in Prague, and I said to some we were mucking around, and I was going, oh yeah, a spuke where you shit and puke at the same time, and he went I go one step further. Have you ever done? This is so disgusting. So I'm going to say trigger warning. He went a schwank.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
You're doing a shit on and doing a wank at the same time.
I thought there'd be a puke involved as well.
No. I obviously claimed. I went, oh yeah, I've done that whilst also puking.
Oh, God.
Lovely stuff.
Yes.
Lovely stuff.
You mentioned Jake Humphrey briefly there, unfortunately. I was listening to some podcasts the other day while I was doing some decorating, which is what I've been doing this week.
High performance decorating.
Yeah, well, of course. Very low performance. I generally didn't start till about 2 p.m. every day. Gave it a lot of thought, a lot of preparation.
6 cups of tea, 13 biscuits, and then it's time to go.
Watch a bit of daytime telly. Well, you just get yourself into the
you have
zone.
to get yourself in the zone,
A Jake Humphrey advert came on during one of these podcasts, and it seems that he has now endorsed some kind of high performance drink that is available. He's collaborated with some.
It was only a matter of time.
Drink company, and it's full of, I don't know, electrolytes maybe.
It's a high performance energy drink. Of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
If you want to be at your absolute peak performance level, you got to get yourself a can of Jake Humphrey high performance fizz pop.
How can you enhance the grift even further by collaborating
always
with
the drink? It's always the next step in any grift.
Why have we not got a freaking drink, Sam?
Well, I was just writing an article today, and it involved Nigel Farage a little bit, and I was reminded during the course of my research that he's got his own gin called Farage Gin, and that the tagline for it is "the taste of Brexit." Which I actually did. Fair play. I actually thought that was quite funny.
Well, he's fully committed to the bit, isn't he? You know what I mean?
The taste of Brexit.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So he's got a drink. Humphrey's got a drink. Where's our fucking drink? Someone did do a beer once, didn't they? Do you remember?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, but we didn't
get
a
beer. They had
we
their
got
own
a free bottle, I think.
I can't remember what it was called. I'm not sure if it was called Top Flight or it was called Living Out Loud or something. Maybe.
I think it was incredibly strong as well. I've got a bottle of it downstairs.
Yeah, I couldn't drink it. So I'm thinking, energy drink. Well, you know, like everyone sells these fucking energy drinks, right? Which are really bad. We need a Just Rest drink. We need a drink that makes you feel restful.
Yeah,
and at peace.
Something helps you sleep. That's what
we need. Anti-caffeine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's this kombucha stuff? What's that supposed to do? Is that made out of mushrooms or something?
I'm not really sure. I know a fella who makes it, but I haven't kind of understood.
Get on to him then. Get on to it. Hello. Yeah, listen. Yeah, it's Dawson. Listen, I'm going to need some branded podcast kombucha. First question. Is it made of mushrooms? That's from my co-host. It's not a deal. There's no right or wrong answer to that. It's simply an inquiry.
I think he told me what it was once, but I don't remember. But he was going to pack his job in to do it, and then it didn't work out. So I don't know if there's much of a market
remained
for
a side hustle.
I think so. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. It's good to have a side hustle. Keeps you busy.
Yeah, I think everyone should have a kombucha related side hustle.
Yeah. So Jake Humphrey's got a drink. And we haven't, and that doesn't seem right.
Jalapeño.
Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you wouldn't be hearing this brief but annoying message if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St. Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your tits.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
What else is going to be on the telly I was going to mention? Oh, I think we mentioned I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. I'm not watching that fucking shit. I'm not watching fucking Nigel Farage.
I just can't be bothered. There's been some debate in my house about whether or not to watch it.
Yeah.
And the scale is like this. My daughter is obviously like, I don't give a fuck. I'm watching I'm Celebrity. It's a right laugh. Fair enough. I respect that. My son's like, I don't like Nigel Farage, but I've never been allowed until now to stay up and watch I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah.
And now I have to take the opportunity to watch it irrespective of who's in it because I want to see what all this fucking fuss has been about, right? So I go, fair enough. My wife's like, I'm not watching that cunt, fuck that, fuck ITV. I think I'm just like, I just can't be bothered watching I'm a Celeb anymore.
It's not very good.
I'm not being I don't know whether it's good. I've just watched it. It's been going for years. I just get bored of programs.
It's the same fucking thing every year. Here's some maggots in your fucking hair.
Yeah,
Here's
exactly.
a spider on your face.
And
also there is
a little bit kind of, let's hope someone just fucking loses it, right? And it's like, I'm not sure. Like the best bit has always been Ant and Dec, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I get bored of Ant and Dec at all, but you can easily watch back their links on fucking YouTube if you're that desperate to see them. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And the rest, I just can't be bothered. It goes on quite late. I've seen it all before. I've got nothing against people watching it. But, yeah, it wouldn't be Farage that put me off. It's more just like, I just can't be bothered. I'm just... I'll probably be in bed. Do you know what I mean?
20 years now, isn't it?
Ant and Dec are funny. But for me, I liked it a couple of years ago when they had... I think he was a rapper called Naughty Boy.
Yes.
And... for me, it was never funnier than just Ant and Dec continually referring to Naughty Boy.
Naughty Boy.
And the way they said it, every time, they didn't actually have to do a joke or even do a face. There was a subtle way in which they said Naughty Boy. And still now, today, I was remembering it. My daughter reminded me, she went, do you remember when Naughty Boy was on it and we couldn't stop laughing? And I said, I know. It never got old. Because I'm an old man, I'd never heard of Naughty Boy until he was on it. And then I'm like, oh my God, his name's Naughty Boy. That's the funniest thing I've heard. And then throughout the entire run, what's it go on for 2 weeks? Never stopped being funny.
It's Naughty on the same level as Darling in Blackadder 4.
It is, yeah. It's exactly like that. Or Bad Boy in Animal Quackers.
That was that his name? He was only in one story, wasn't he? Or was he? I don't know.
We don't know. He might turn up in all of them because
we should watch all of them.
It was in a town. I can't remember what town it was called, but all of their stories, when they tell a story in every episode of Animal Quackers, are always set in the same in magical land,
right?
Because it has to be because they sing about it in the theme tune. They go. Onto the spaceship and up we go. We're going to it's called Popland or something like that. Yeah. And the very much the bête noir of Popland is Bad Boy. Right? Yeah. You'll remember. I mean, the bloke's capable of fucking anything. He's a wild card. In the episode we studied, the cunt nicked a bell off a fucking ice cream van and then climbed up Sugar Mountain and started scooping up... Ice Cream Mountain and started was it sugar or ice cream? I can't remember. It was ice cream.
He was using it as a cone.
Yeah. And he started he goes, I'll fucking use this cone. I'll use this fucking bell for a cone, mate. The bloke is... Bad Boy is fucking mad. And I don't know, if we carried on, like, deep diving that and read some of the others, who knows where it ends? I mean, I would hope... I hope and pray that it didn't end in some sort of bloodshed atrocity. But...
I don't think it will.
Can't rule it out.
I think they will have ended on an open ending because they were probably open for a third series that never happened. I don't think they killed it off after 2 like Fawlty Towers did.
He goes missing. He goes missing. Everyone worries where Bad Boy is. And there's a strong hint that the cunt's jumped off a fucking cliff or something.
I wonder what his real name is. It's probably like Mark or something like that.
Well, I hope that his parents didn't actually christen him Bad Boy because we've all heard of, what do you call it? Nominative determinism.
Yes.
If you're going to christen your kid Bad Boy, then he hasn't really got much fucking hope, has he? From the moment he starts fucking infant school, the teachers are going to put a black mark next to him. At this point, Bad Boy, we'll keep an eye on that cunt.
Yeah.
Sounds like a wrong one.
Bad Boy by nature. At this point, I'm going to do a little shout out for our pals at Pop Rex in Sunderland, Sam. Where we've performed on more than one occasion. They've just put a tweet, I think they're still called tweets, out earlier on, just to say that their energy tariff has just doubled. So they've put a load of stuff online for merch stuff. T-shirts, bags, all that kind of thing. So if you're interested, go and have a look. It's supposed to be
going down. Energy bills. Oh, fuck. Anyway.
I think they've been on like a fixed tariff or something that's run out or something.
Pop Rex is very much the spiritual home, along with that premiere in Hucknall, Nottinghamshire.
Yeah. So have a look online, get yourself a Christmas present for someone. There's T-shirts, there's tote bags, there's framed prints of Dave Harper's face and the word "Still Hate Thatcher." You know, that'll enhance your world.
I've got a cup of that on my desk right in front of me.
Mm-hmm. There it is, the mug.
I use it as a pen mug.
Very good. So there you go. I thought I'd mention
just organise my pens and pencils.
And
I also have a ruler in case I need to draw a straight line. Yeah, go on.
Do you find yourself having to draw a straight line often?
I don't know. It's quite funny for a grown man to own a ruler, isn't it? I just realised that. It's on those little ones. I think it's busted. But yeah, it's what is it? It's a 30cm ruler.
Right. Well,
Must
it was
be broken. That don't look 30 centimeters.
What's that? 15.
It's fucking someone snapped it enough. Probably could have easily been me in a fit of anger, frustration. But it is a funny thing for a man of my age to own, isn't it? Well, never know when I might need to measure something or draw a straight line.
Yeah.
Maybe under a heading.
My son asked the other day if I had a stapler, and I just looked at him like, "What? What year is this?
What do you think this is? The fucking 80s? You got a fucking app for that now, haven't you? For sticking bits of paper together."
So I had no idea.
Stapler.
No fucking
what
idea.
Next? A fucking hole punch?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll give your fucking hole a punch in a minute if you carry on with these kind of daft requests.
What's this fucking retro trend or something? Something on TikTok, is it?
Some fucking hipster thing where everyone wants to get old stationery devices from old-timey fucking offices. What do you want? Some fucking Tipex? Or some of that fucking carbon paper that they used before they had photocopiers?
I saw some Tipex being used in the wild the other day when I was out and about.
Sniffing or deleting?
Used for legitimate purposes. I was at the vet. I took Oscar to the vet, and it turned out that he needed his anal glands expressed.
Tipexed.
I think
the word is. We need to Tipex his anal glands because they're unsightly.
So I was up at his head end, holding on to him by his neck to stop him from kicking off.
I always see it advertised, like when I'm at the groomers, and they go right. And they try to make it all like this groomers I go to try to make it all sound kind of really. It's got a vibe. It's very sort of middle class and sort of like, I don't know. They try to make it all a bit bougie, as the kids say, and they've got like a hipstery kind of board with those like letters that you kind of press board, they call it, with like the menu
cafes and things.
And it's like exactly full groom, wash and shampoo. It's all written a bit mateyly. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah. And then at the end, it just goes, anal gland. I'm like, that ruins your fucking vibe, doesn't it? Anal gland. Sounds like a fucking death metal group from fucking Norway. We are anal gland. Yeah. 90 quid and we'll fucking squeeze its anal glands out. Here, do you want a fucking espresso while you're waiting?
So yeah, I had to hold on to his head, basically stop him from kicking off, while the vet put a big gloved, lubed fucking finger up his arse and did whatever you need to do to express anal glands. I don't know how it's done.
Fuck knows how they do it. I mean, I wish I knew. Then I'd save myself a few quid.
Yeah.
Well, but Cookie's not had to have it done yet. I'm assuming it builds up over. What is it? Is it like piles sort of thing?
I think it's a bit like that. Yeah. I think it happens from straining. The vet told me to try and get some more fibre in his diet, so he's obviously straining to have a shit, and that's affecting the anal glands.
Give him some fucking shredded wheat.
I'll give him some buttered wheat
like that.
Buttered wheat Bix will sort him out, hopefully. I just want to read this email out from Andrew, which is entitled Prowse Chat, because we were talking about Dave Prowse a couple of weeks ago. It might have been in one of the IFS episodes. It might have been in the Protection Odyssey. But you know who Dave Prowse is. Everyone knows who Dave Prowse is. He was the Green Cross man. He was fucking Darth Vader in Star Wars, etc., etc. And Andrew says, the Prowse Chat brought to mind two stories from my childhood. The first, which I guess was in the late 70s, was when the great man appeared on the radio. It would have been either Radio 2 or Swansea Sound. He was banging on about how much money Star Wars had made him. And he went out to sing the following song in the tune of the Star Wars theme. I'll try and do it in the Prowse accent. Star Wars, made me a fortune, paid off the mortgage, bought me a car.
Good man. Excellent
Brilliant.
work by Prowse.
The second incident, 1982, involved the Green Cross man visiting the primary school that Andrew went to. Not a single word about road safety was spoken. Instead, he chose to talk about what would happen in the next Star Wars film, which he proudly told us would be called Revenge of the Jedi.
Yeah. Well, we found out, we were talking about him, and we found out that that's what... Oh, sorry, is that email not finished yet?
No, that's it. What you were going to say was what I was going to say, yeah.
Because we were talking about him and how he moaned on about how he'd got biffed from fucking being
from
Darth
the conventions
Vader
and stuff, wasn't it?
When the mask was removed at the end of Return of the Jedi, he thought it'd be his face, and then he found out that in fact they were filming with another actor, and he understandably thought, fuck me, all these years I've been fucking wearing this suit, right, sweating my bollocks off. And then you even got my voice dubbed over by James Earl Jones, right? But at least now, at the end of this film, my face is finally revealed and I get some credit. But then he found out that they were fucking filming with another actor in the other room, right? And they didn't even want to show his face. And so, I did feel sorry for him. But then a few people got in touch with us, and it turns out, I don't want to get us legally exposed here, so I'll say there was allegations from Lucasfilm that he had been selling/leaking the details of the plot to Return of the Jedi.
Sounds like he was doing it in primary schools. Isn't he dead, though? He can't sue us, can he?
Yeah, never underestimate the estate, the Prowse estate.
Prowse estate, fucking hell. Yeah, so there you go. That tickled me. I like that a lot.
Did you see that I set fire to my notes this afternoon?
I did,
I mean, it was absolutely uncanny. For people who subscribe to, I don't know what tier gets the Protection Odyssey, but we're doing something.
It's all of the IFS.
The Patreon.
It's right across the board, even the cheapest level.
Okay, so if you're IFS, if you subscribe to our Patreon offering, then you'll have access to our Protection Odyssey, which I'm enjoying thoroughly. Really enjoying our Protection Odyssey as we go through this fantastic book called Protecting People. We were doing fire safety, and we were just exchanging stories about our own experiences with fire, right? And I said sometimes I set fire to tea towels in the house occasionally. And then today I'm in on my own and I'm writing an article for the paper, and there's fucking notes that I've been interviewing people on the phone and just, taking notes and as they're speaking. So it's important notes. And then I had this little candle, a tea light, the little candles.
Yeah.
Someone gave it to me the other day, right? So I'm sitting at home on my own, trying to get some work done. And I thought to myself, I'm going to fucking light that fucking candle up that I got given the other day. Nice candle, that's getting fucking burnt. Right? I got a bit excited. It was only like a candle, it was a shit present, really. But
it's the little baby candle, isn't it, of all the candles?
Yeah, it's a babyish candle. But I just sort of felt, I knew it smelled. And so I thought, sometimes I like to light a smelly candle, especially when I'm working, because it relaxes me a bit. So I fucking lit the cunt. And then I'm banging away on my fucking laptop trying to hit a deadline. And I thought, fuck me, that candle's a bit fucking pungent. And I'd opened my laptop and it's sort of blocking where the candle was. The candle had fucking dumped my notes down while I was typing on the fucking candle.
Whoa.
And so I looked round, I got it
There
just
it
in
is.
time. But the notes almost went up in fucking flames completely.
Fuck.
I just grabbed them, held them to my chest, and I dropped and rolled.
Rolled
dropped
around
and rolled.
on them for a bit, yeah.
And saved the notes, yeah.
Wait for a grown-up to come.
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes of rolling, and then I
done
felt
well.
it was safe to continue.
You did the right thing. Nice one. I've just seen a tweet. This just appeared in me mentions. Are you aware of the author Dolly Alderton?
Yeah. She's so popular. She's so popular it annoys me. But anyway, good luck to her.
Yeah, she's just got a new novel out called Good Material. Comedy, compassion, and insta-stalking in the tale of a 30-something stand-up's relationship anguish. And the character who is the affable C-list stand-up comedian in the book is called Andy Dawson.
Fuck off.
No.
Really?
Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah.
I want pay. It's hello.
I want paying.
Is that Dolly? Yeah, it's Andy Dawson here. I want paying. No, no, I don't want to hear any of this coincidence shit. You know and I know that is my property, that name. And I want 25% of all proceeds.
So there you go. I'm going to get a copy of that. I'll get a fucking free one at the very least. See what it's all about. So there you go. We've got to quickly do some predictions, Sam, before we go. It's International Week, so all bets are off, really. We are going to predict for England for our double points, and ResultSpot's going to predict for our former friends in Latvia. So before we begin, bear that in mind. So first of all, England versus Malta, which is on Friday evening.
I'll say 5-0 England.
5-0. I'll go for a 4-0 on that one. Kazakhstan versus San Marino, the minnows of San Marino, as they're always called. I will go for...
But still, Kazakhstan aren't exactly fucking big fish, are they?
This is a Euro 2024 qualifier, believe it or not. I think that Kazakhstan will win this 2-0.
Okay, I'll say 3-0.
All right. ResultSpot, of course, says 1-0 for all of these, and it does for the next one as well. Latvia versus Croatia. What do you reckon?
Latvia 0, Croatia 2.
I was going to say try and put aside your negative feelings towards the Latvians, but I don't think you've done that there, have you?
I couldn't.
I'll go for 2-1 to Croatia. Switzerland versus Kosovo. I'll go first.
Ooh,
I will give that 2-0 to Switzerland.
I'm saying exactly the same.
Fine. Finally, Belarus versus Andorra. What a lineup.
Jesus Christ. That's got to be 3-0 to Belarus.
3-0 Belarus. I'm going to go 3-2 to Belarus.
Wow.
And I don't know why
you
I
think
said that.
Andorra are going to notch twice?
I do. Right, there we go. That is the episode. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.